we have a governing body that clearly don't understand management of any kind of team leaving Jamaica.
Yeah.
66 athletes, 4 disciplines. Track and field must get preference, and a question, we must get preference. What that preference looks like, facilitating, sending somebody ahead, making sure beds, all the basic things, despite France's inability to host. But we have to make our athletes comfortable.
Happy Independence Day, Jamaica. We are 62 years old. And what better way to be celebrating our country while the Olympics is going on? Welcome to Paris Today, powered by Flow. I'm your host, Trishana McGowan. Back with me, Daniel Blake, a sports reporter at the Jamaica Observer.
Welcome.
Fully Jamaica. Oh. Sports marketer, Carol Beckford.
Thanks for having me again. Happy to be back.
So I'm saying, Wagwan, and you know, what's, I know you're a woman of a particular age, but you must have a slang way where you like ELR.
Where I say? I actually said that.
You actually said that?
Yeah, where I say.
Where I say. Yeah. And that, you know what's funny? Carol say, where I say, that is a hail, it is a question, like where I say, and it have a lot of meaning.
But everybody now trying to speak Jamaican.
Yeah, and Jamaicans aren't. But guess what? The Olympics is still going on. Our athletes doing well. But 62 years of independence for our small island, a population of 3 million or 2.7, just about 3 million. Mm-hmm. And we continue to punch above our weight, whether through sports, entertainment, education, every little something around the world, we're in it. Mm-hmm. Carol, you when you look at where we are now versus then, have we made a lot of progress?
Oh, absolutely. So we know, let's even think of broadcast. We were depending on feeds from external forces. We now have our teams. So even in that, I remember when we had the Caribbean News Agency and then CMC, Lance Whitaker, when he went, was part of that. And so we've, even from having our own team in an Olympics, that in itself shows progress. And what it means, we can now get up to date, up to the minute, live information. We don't have to depend on nobody. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is that more and more of us are going to the major games.
Yes.
It used to be just a few of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably 20. Now, when I look, I see half of my friends in the corporate business in the stadium.
Yeah,
I think we have about
their
300
families
people,
and stuff.
and they're carrying their children, so everybody is now experienced. So from that perspective, we're taking over. But just to put in context, is that the athletes, based on where they go in the cities across the world, the Diamond League, and the fact that they're training with other coaches and interacting with other people, I think that we continue to make our name. We're playing with more clubs in football, and we're playing netball, you know, the girls down under. So all in all, Jamaica's sport has really pushed us forward.
I am sports and entertainment.
Oh, absolutely. That's a separate program. You want Andre Low kick us out the studio?
Daniel, for you and I, right? Look at right? No, remember that yesterday Daniel told us that, you know, when we were talking about age. So you are much younger than Carol and I, apparently.
Not
but
apparently.
It is a fact. Okay, Daniel, when you look at the progress made, you know, you read a lot. The history is there. When you look at where we are as a nation regarding our sports, and I like to intertwine sports and entertainment because they go together. When you, at your age, looking, you're pleased with, you think how far we have come?
I can say that we have gotten much further than I think we initially expected back in those days, which you guys are very familiar with. So for example, my father, when he used to watch Olympics or even watch like World Cup qualifiers, there was no thought of Jamaica really being there. Yes, we did have some representation, for example, at the Olympics and World Championships. But the fact, you know, if there were analysts back then who were predicting 13 medals for Jamaica, they would look absolutely ridiculous. So it just shows how much we have grown as a nation. And one thing that I think we should be super proud of is the fact that we have track clubs here in Jamaica. You know, there was a time where everybody thought, oh, you have to go overseas to be successful. The fact that we have the MVP track club with Stephen Francis, racers with Glenn Mills, and we have the newer track clubs with Elite, Sprint Tech, it shows that we have really grown. The knowledge is here, and that there are athletes from overseas who want to come here and train in little Jamaica with little to no resources.
Oh, we have some of those athletes training here as well.
Yeah, so we have been performing. Yes, we may not be doing as well as we want to in certain events, but the fact that we've established that foundation and we continue building, it just shows how great we are as a nation.
Yeah. You're a marketer, Carol. I like to say that we as a nation missed marketing Jamaica to its full extent during the high moments of Usain Bolt, in the sense of, lobbying for a lot of things, whether it be, fixing up at the stadium, whatever it is. I just think that not only Usain, Shelley and Fraser Price back in 2008, we just spoke about that yesterday with her, Karan Stewart, Sharon Simpson, Gold, Silver, those high moments where we could have capitalized on it. As a marketer, do you think, or do you agree that we missed our moment to, utilize sports to its full extent?
Oh, absolutely. So we keep tagging sports on with other ministries. So it was tourism and sport. Then tourism is now sport, culture, gender, entertainment. It has no business there. It should be separate. So policy-wise, it should be on its own. And then policies should guide things like governance and structure. So the STF needs to be redone. We need to merge in sports and STC. I've said this. I've written this. It's in a book. I've spoken about this. Our governance structure for sports has to change to attract better support. What happens now is the people who want to support sports, the governance structure doesn't support investment. And so there is no accountability on a number of areas. And so sporting administration. So for example, the current conflict with the JOA and the J3 should not be happening. It's an absolute mess. 87 out of 88 medals, and we have a governing body that clearly don't understand management of any kind of team leaving Jamaica.
Yeah.
66 athletes, 4 disciplines. Track and field must get preference, and a question, we must get preference. What that preference looks like, facilitating, sending somebody ahead, making sure beds, all the basic things, despite France's inability to host, but we have to make our athletes comfortable.
So those are some things where we still haven't mastered as yet.
We still haven't. And so in terms of things like our infrastructure, as I said in the other program, we must have something solid to show for all these years.
Yeah.
2028, we mark 80 years. We can't just be going to the Olympics and say we're going to Olympics. Well, we have to tell the next generation. And so here we are, trying to fix the problems. Yes, we're good. We're talented.
Yeah.
But if we want to grow, so when somebody say I have $30 million to invest, we must have incentives. We must give them tax write-offs. We must know what we're doing and to show the community how it benefits them.
So we have a long way to go, even though we're 62 years old, based on what Carol said and based on where we are and what Daniel mentioned as well. We can all agree?
Of course, and Daniel must be part of the leadership of the next generation of sports administrators, sports journalists.
Since you're young.
Since you're young. I'm already over 50. I've lived half of my life. So I'm on the other side.
Well, you don't know when you're going to die, so...
No. I live half of my life already, Daniel. You have to make me feel that now going to help you.
So back in 2012, we got what? 13 medals. A big moment for us at the London Olympic Games. Here we are, 2024 in Paris. Things not go according to plan with some events, athletes pulling out. I believe that the absence of Shelley and Fraser Price and Sharika Jackson, we took a blow. Kishane finishing second. Like you said, Jamaicans, we all wanted him to win. They're happy, but you and I know, and I think Daniel said it in previous show, they're not very happy that it was Noah Lyles that won. But when you look at where we are now in the Olympic Games, do you think that we can, become a bigger powerhouse as a nation if we were to put those things in place?
Yeah, I think things will become easier if our administrators and other things like that are well done. So even though our athletes and our coaches have done a spectacular job running off their skills, when you bring in that administrative aspect, when you bring in that financial support, that will make life a lot easier. It's a similar discussion that we have in our education system. Why some schools do better than other schools? It's because a lot is pumped into those schools, whether it's through their school board, the old boys and so forth. So
and the old girls.
Yeah. So if
past students.
Yeah, past students. There we go. So if there's a case where our administrators can reach a level where they are forward thinking or more forward thinking than they are now, if we have our government and the private sector really coming in and showing full support to our athletes, not just in track and field, even though we are talking about track and field, but in sports itself, because then it will end up spreading. That's one of the reasons why even the MLS has become so popular, because they decided to follow the model of the NBA, NFL, and look where they are now. So if we decide to do that with our sports here in Jamaica, I think our success level will only grow.
And it's on that we segue into my next question. About where we are in modern day, and as we look to go forward, social media has become such a huge platform.
Very.
It's a double-fold question, and I'll allow you to summarize it, Carol. How can an athlete, put themselves out there, or be marketable then if they're not too much into social media? You have people, and I really them think that, even though it's a social media era.
Well, it's a big part of your negotiation for your contracts, and no company is gonna just be happy with your performance unless you're an elite athlete. I mean, super elite. But then the support, the things that make you human. So there's a human interest, social media, and all that stuff. Other things you do. So more of it is becoming the human interest part of life.
Yeah.
And employ people who can do this thing. I mean, without taking tails out of school, I did a lot of work.
So you don't have to do it yourself.
Behind the scenes. But it requires research. Let me just warn you. I spent 6 months with my big client at the time without going public. So no, I was employed to him 6 months before it was announced. And I spent the time. So I know the words he can write properly, the ones when put Z instead of S. So I took the time and spent. And so that's the other thing. You can't just wake up with a client and just say it's, you have to know. You have to know what they eat, what they think. So when they go to certain places, you can shoot them, when they're comfortable, that kind of a stuff. So it requires that. And we're not accessing enough of social media for economic return. There's a way to do it. And
so that we can...
Yeah, man, storytelling. There are too many stories in Jamaica that an athlete of worth can do without going into personal stuff. And you can benefit from it.
Yeah, speaking of stories, because we do have a minute left, if each of you can tell me in our 62 years of track and field, what's your greatest moment in Jamaica's history?
You want to go first? You're the guest.
Yeah,
go first.
You're saying 2012 in London.
Yeah.
When, can you repeat, whatever, and when 120,000 people down at the West Ham Stadium decide to fish out in your ears. I've watched NBA and NFL games, but London was like nothing else.
Yeah.
Nowhere. So 2012 London, David Rudisha to add to the Jamaican performance.
I love Shelley, 2008. I've had a few, so I can't tell no one. Elaine, first double. Just having a Jamaican achieving that, I was excited. But the biggest moment for me, which year was it? When you say he beat the chest?
2008.
2008, Beijing.
Beating the chest, going across. Put that on repeat. I will watch. Which was yours before we...
I think 2008 was just destiny. The fact that Bolt decided that he want to run the 100 that year, the fact that the J3s didn't decide to listen to the public and allow Shelley to run, the fact that Frano knew that Melaine was possibly the best hurdler in the world. We had so much going for us that
the
year.
one you asked for, you're gone 3.
Oh, sorry, 2008.
Carol, thank you so much for joining us again. We hope you enjoyed. Danielle, a regular. Happy Independence Day. Once again, we hope you enjoyed the Olympics. We hope you enjoyed the day and continue to enjoy the beautiful island. Make it great. Thank you for joining us on Paris Today, powered by Flow. I'm your host, Trishana McGowan, Danielle Blake, sports reporter from the Jamaica Observer, and Carol Beckford, sports marketer. Join us again for our next episode. Because we're not done yet, because Olympics not done yet, so we're not done yet. Rejoin us again.